Milan is sitting on about $50,000 and he wants to do something with that money, and he's asking what I would do with that money. Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. We've got another question in. This one is from Milan. Milan is sitting on about $50,000 and he wants to do something with that money, and he's asking what I would do with that money. Well, I think you guys know what I would do with it. I put it into real estate. Couple of options I could think of. One would be is possibly putting some money into a pre-construction project. Another one would be is to possibly buy a property and do something with that, and live in it and do something with it. And the other thing is maybe just buy a property and have it rented out. The first one would be is like, and not in necessarily any order, but like maybe even look at pre-construction. There are some good deals out there for pre-construction. So there could be a house, it could be a condo, depending on where you're looking. If you get into the key places in downtown Toronto, these buildings are still doing really, really well, and I anticipate that they're going to continue to do well. There are new up and coming pockets of, even if you start looking into Stony Creek or as far as like Bowmanville and beyond, your $50,000 may go a little bit further. You might be actually able to put deposit on 2 properties that might close in the next 2 or 3 years. So it'll give you some time to work up to closing these as well. So pre-construction, I think, is still a good idea depending on what you're looking at. Not everything that you see in the magazine is good, so you got to be very careful with your selection of what you're doing. The other one is buy a property, possibly live in that property, buy your personal place of residence, and then what you may want to consider doing is buy something that you can have additional rental income, whether it be renting out the basement, or if I could go a couple of steps back, what I probably would have done is buy a bungalow or a house and maybe myself live in the basement for a little while and rent out the house, because you pretty much get a little bit more rent for that house than you would for the basement. So that would be a really cool way to kind of get into the market, start paying down the mortgage and have some income coming in to help you with it, and maybe not even just help, but to pay that down a little bit faster. The other option you can also do is maybe just buy a property. I'm not sure what Milan's exact situation is. Maybe he's staying with parents, or maybe he's got cheap rent right now. So it's not necessarily a bad idea, even if you're renting and you don't want to move from where you are, or you don't want to go with the higher expenses of possibly owning a property. Maybe you go ahead and buy a property, buy that property and rent it out. There are townhouses that you could buy in Pickering, Ajax, maybe around $600,000, and these guys rent out easily for like $2,200, $2,300, depending on what it is. But maybe you may not be positive cash flow right away. You might have to put in a little bit of money into it, but overall it would be a very, very good investment. So number one thing I would tell you to do with your money is definitely put it into real estate. Over time, while you keep going, like I continue to go, I would start to diversify my portfolio a little bit. Like I'm trying to get into a little bit of stocks, a little bit of ETFs, different things. But real estate, I would definitely say, is a staple. It's definitely helped me build up to where I'm at and where I'm going. That's basically what I would say. If you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them as I get them in. If we don't know the answer, I'd definitely find out and get back to you. Love to hear from you. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, and talk to you guys soon.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.